Whenever you buy a complex piece of equipment such as TV or a can, do you ever wonder how exactly it all came together? Well, ever since the Industrial Revolution, that how has been a vital question for many businesses. Today, we are going to look at how in post war Japan, Toyota helped to create one of the smartest production systems that we have named just in time. We will look at how it works and how you can apply the philosophy and practices to many other areas of business. After World War II, Japan faced some difficult problems. They didn't have a lot of cash, resources were scarce, and there was not a lot of free land to expand factories. However, Taichi Ono at Toyota managed to turn these problems into advantages by slowly creating the just in time system. The idea did not all come at once. It is more that through the 50s and 60s, various changes were implemented and improved until the 70s, where the wider world began to realize the benefits and adopted a similar approach. So, what is just in time? The philosophy is to make the entire production system only work with what it needs and to minimize wait times between each stage. The big saving is normally around inventory. Before just in time, a company would keep a warehouse filled with the parts and raw materials it needed. When supplies were getting low, they would reorder when they had just enough to keep going until the next delivery came. But Toyota realized, what if just keep making that same order as soon as the next one arrives? That way, you never need to keep this stockpile of spare parts. The cost savings were huge since warehousing is seriously expensive. You need to pay for a massive space, power, staff, security, and for parts that are just sitting there, waiting, not making you money or adding value to your product. And this is the core of just in time. You look at each area of production and ask, is this adding value to the product? If it is not, maybe there is a better way to do it. You cut everything down to its most efficient form with almost no room for error, which is where the risk in just in time lies. Toyota used Japan's relatively small size to its advantage. You could rely on suppliers delivering exactly on time because they only had to travel small distances. If you get problems with supply, then it can shut down the whole system. But it is normally worth the risk. The savings are huge on inventory and staff cost. More than this, though, you are forced to create a working philosophy that there is no room for error. You don't have spare parts or spare time so that you can make sure everything functions perfectly. Often, efficiency comes at the cost of quality, but not in this case. In just in time, you are forced into quality in order to be efficient. That is why it is applicable to many other areas of business. The best way to think about it is if we simplify everything to two approaches, just in time and just in case. With the just in case, you are trying to minimize a risk by always giving yourself a buffer. You will carry extra stock so that you can swap out faulty items. You will overstaff certain areas because they have occasionally had too much work to deal with. You will support a service that just a few customers ask for. With just in time, you don't simply cut these areas and cross your fingers that nothing bad happens. No, you work out how you can avoid them happening in the first place. Because this is money that is wasted unless a bad thing happens. You are effectively investing in mistakes. Better quality control means staff can trust the stock they have so that they don't need a backup. As for workloads, the only reason one department is hit by a workload they cannot handle is because there is not enough visibility between departments. And if your sales team know the capacity of production and its current status, then they won't put in an order that can be filled. And as for offering a service with a limited customer appeal, well, maybe you cut it out simply or just find a way to merge it with other services so the resources it requires are absolutely minimal. When done well, the just in time philosophy should be good for morale too, because the whole point of it is telling your staff, I am trusting you to perform consistently. And I think most of us respond well to that kind of respect. So this is the core of just in time manufacture.